Dear listeners, I am back with another message. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and the message reads like this. Hello, how are you? I met this lady on the road. She was hiking, so was I. She was looking so stressed. I greeted her because I was also waiting for a taxi at the same place. I asked her if everything was okay, and she said she was okay. To be honest, I didn't like this girl. She was very beautiful. She was all sexy and stuff, but there was something beyond her beauty. The moment that I placed my eyes on her, my heart skipped a beat. So I decided to leave that place. But before I had left the place where she was busy hiking, she asked me about my destination, and I told her, but I lied. Then she faked a smile. Then she said, "You are the first person who has showed me love." I was stressed, but the moment that you greeted me, now I am okay. There is something that is good about you. So can I go with you? Maybe I'll be able to get a taxi since it has been a long time since I have been waiting here. Then she started telling me that when she was standing there, she was actually thinking of committing suicide. She said that I have been standing here for almost 2 hours just waiting for a truck. I was telling myself that if a truck was going to pass me by, once the driver has passed me, I was going to run. Then I will let the wheels of the trailer smash me so that I can just die. I don't want to stand in front of the truck because maybe the truck driver will hit the brakes, but I know that once he has passed me, there is no way that he can avoid me. He will just hit me with his trailer. I want to rest. I want to die. There are a lot of things that I cannot tell you. But when you came here and when you greeted me with the softness of your voice, my heart melted. And I have asked myself that if in this world there are good people, what is the reason for me to end my own life? When this lady told me a story, I don't know what happened to me because my eyes were filled with tears. I tried to control myself from crying, but she said, "No, it is okay, because the way that you are crying, you are actually healing my broken heart." After that, me and that girl, we walked for a little bit. We went to another hiking spot so that we can get a taxi. I left that girl standing there beside that road. But after 2 days, I met her again. But this time around, when I saw her, she was close to my house. So I wondered, where does this girl stay? Because she was so close to my house. I was shocked. And she said she had came to visit her own uncle. When she told me that she had came to visit her uncle, I showed her my house, and on that day we spoke and we had a long chat. And she said if she wanted to visit me, is it okay for her to visit me? I said, yes, you are free to visit me at any time, and she left. The following day, she came again. And it was almost like her everyday routine, and we ended up dating. And on one day, that lady, she came at my house, and that lady, when she came at my house, she ended up seducing me, and she slept at my house. The reason why I am saying that this lady, when she came to my house, she ended up seducing me, it was because on that day I didn't want to sleep with her, because in my house and in my room, to be more specific, I didn't have any protection. I was not dating anyone, and the lady that I was dating before, me and her, we were not using protection at all. So when this lady came to my house, I never thought that me and her, we were going to end up in bed together. I thought that we were still friends and we were just getting to know each other. But the moment that she asked if there was anyone else in the house, and when I said no, that is when she dragged me to my own room. Then she locked me up in my own room. Then she started seducing me. I tried to tell her that we didn't need to be this reckless. At first, we had to go to the clinic so that we can get tested. but she promised me and she said she was A-okay. She was more worried about falling pregnant for me. So the way that she seduced me, I could not control myself. I ended up sleeping with her and we spent the whole night together in my own home. She then said in the morning, I can't go back home. I will be staying with you. I tried to explain to her that I am not yet ready and I am not prepared for marriage. I thought that we were still getting to know each other. That is why I didn't want us to end up in bed together. But then she said we had done this deed, and the moment that I had taken her to bed, it meant that I was ready for marriage. She said she had money to give me to start a very small business. As I said before, I had met this girl. I had never loved this girl because there was something fishy about her. She was too fast, even the way that I ended up in bed with her. I didn't even understand what was going on, but it seemed as if I was trapped by her beauty and the way that she was calling me babe. Throughout the night, my brother, I kept on regretting sleeping with this lady without protection. But whenever I would finish, like when I would have ejaculated, that guilty feeling will come into my heart. But seconds later, when I would look at her, even though we had dimmed the lights, you could actually see that this girl was so beautiful. Then that guilty feeling will just go away and I would tell myself that everything is going to be okay. But soon after that, that guilty feeling would come back again in my heart. I was trapped. We started staying together, but that month she told me that we had to look for an apartment which was nice and big. We then found an apartment. We stayed together. That is when she started telling me that she comes from a wealthy family. Yes, she was rich because on this other day, she was busy. I don't know what she was doing on her banking app. I was shocked with what I saw on her banking app. I have never seen such a huge amount of money. When she showed me that money, I thought maybe it was not real money. Then she said, look, she transferred that money from her account into another account. And yes, I saw a notification. This was real money. She told me that she came from a rich family. She told me that her mother was a South African, but her father came from overseas. I asked her about her people, where they were staying, but she never told me the facts. She just said that my mom is the one who is a South African, but my dad is from overseas. But overseas from where? She never told me. Even though I could see that there was something fishy about this girl, but I was happy because this girl, she was loaded. Even though she didn't want to tell me everything about her family, I said, who cares about family when you have money? It happened that my own family started demanding that I come back home. So I had to come back. So I had to go back home. Then she agreed that we had to travel back home and I can introduce her to my parents. When we went back home, as soon as she entered into the house, my mother later told me that girl, when she entered into my house, I had this strange feeling. That girl of yours, she is not a nice person. She is too clever. Where did you get that clever girl? After that, she claimed that she had fallen pregnant. When she told me that she had fallen pregnant, I said, look, pregnancy is not an easy thing. Please, can I at least be introduced to your parents, even your uncle, so that if anything bad happens to you, at least I can go to your relatives and I will tell them that something bad has happened to you. But she kept on postponing and she kept on postponing. Brother Nashi, there is something strange that happened because she kept on having these miscarriages. I don't even know what was going on because on this month she would tell me that she had a miscarriage. Then I would say, okay, since you have a miscarriage, let us wait for a little bit, but she will be too quick for us to try for another baby. Then we will try for another baby. Then she will tell me that she has fallen pregnant, but within 2 months, she will tell me again that she had a miscarriage. So it bothered me a lot because I know, maybe, I don't know, but I think that when a woman has a miscarriage, isn't she supposed to cry or get depressed? But this one, she never cried or anything. She would have a miscarriage in the morning, then in the afternoon she would be drinking beer. Sometimes she would casually tell you that I just had a miscarriage when you'll be watching a movie, and she'll just be eating popcorn without any worry in her voice whatsoever. She would just casually tell you that I just had a miscarriage. So this bothered me a lot until one day this woman, she just disappeared. Where she went, I don't even know. I tried calling her, but her phone could not go through. I was scared. I thought that maybe something bad had happened to her. Days went by, then soon it was month end. Rent was needed and there was no way I could get money. That lady had been promising me that she was going to give me money so that I can start my own business, but she never gave me any money. She kept on telling me that soon enough I am going to start a business for you. It seemed as if she was just enjoying my company. Brother Nashi, I still have this lady's number. I have tried and I keep on hoping that one day she is going to send me a message. But everything that happened to me, it was just strange. And the way that this lady kept on having a lot of miscarriages and she was never worried about those miscarriages. And all the money that she promised me, now when I think about it, she never gave me a single cent. Even when we would go out, she would never hand me any of her money. She would just order everything. She never bought me any expensive clothes or anything that was tangible. When I was kicked out of that house because after 2 months of not paying rent, food was running out, and the agent who is managing those apartments, when she came to give me the notice, since I was not able to pay for the rent, food also was running out of the house. I had no option. I told that lady that I was not the one who had signed the lease agreement, and the person who had signed the lease agreement, that person had vanished into thin air. I walked out of that apartment with nothing because when this lady came and picked me up at my mother's house, she told me to leave everything on the promise that she was going to provide for me. But she never bought anything for me. The only thing that she would buy for me is a lot of beer and a lot of food. I was eating like no man's business, but all of her promises, like she was going to buy me a car, start a good business for me so that one day I'll be able to take care of her, I think it was all lies. Now I am thinking that maybe this lady, she is married to a rich man. She was just cheating on her husband who was out of the country. And when her husband returned back to the country, that is when she decided to dump me like that. She left me with no trace at all. I am so worried, but if this lady ever hear this story, I am pretty sure that she will know that it is me. Please, I'll be happy if she gets in touch with me because it has been a long time and I have a lot of questions that I want to ask her. What happened to all of her pregnancies that she carried for me? That was my blood. I want to know. That is the question that I have on my mind. I want to ask her why she was never stressed each and every time she would have a miscarriage. Please post for me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received from Anonymous. Yeah, strange things do happen in this world. Let us meet again in the following episode.